Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron and welcome back today to another live stream. It is the live game review of that absolutely shambolic performance yesterday afternoon. Everton of course being beaten by 3-1 by Bournemouth at the Vitality Stadium yesterday afternoon. A game that, listen, we were absolutely shocking in, weren't we? Let's not beat around the bush. We were absolutely awful. Basically, from the first Bournemouth goal, we just felt a bit, didn't we? We really did. Even when we got back into the game with the equaliser just before half time, we still didn't look like going on and getting anything from the game. We were shocking. We really were shocking. We're going to talk about it in today's live stream, of course, because listen, we need to. We've got to do game reviews, even for the shite games. We're going to talk about a couple of points that I sort of picked up on yesterday and a couple of things that I'm a little bit cautious about going forward with Everton in terms of obviously leadership, defensively as well. We were absolutely shocking defensively, and in terms of the away form as well, because we're so different away from home as to what we are at Goodison Park. You know, we've been quite dominant at Goodison Park for the last 6 or 7 months. Obviously haven't lost there for quite a while, being scoring goals consistently, whereas away from home we seem to not be scoring half as many goals, and we're conceding an awful lot as well. We've conceded 7 goals in 3 games away from home, which is an absolute catastrophe so far this season. Obviously 2 against Villa, not 7 goals away from home, sorry, 7 goals in the last 3 games, 2 against Villa, 2 against Wolves, and then 3 yesterday. So obviously it's a little bit worrying defensively. Like I said, I'm going to talk about my opinions on it all in today's video. You know, my initial opinions, you see my instant match reaction. I was quite angry yesterday. I was quite frustrated because it's just another game that we should have gone out there and we should have won. We should have got the 3 points. There was no excuse for yesterday's performance, and there was no excuse for yesterday's result. Bournemouth are a decent team, don't get me wrong, but they could be massively exposed at the back, and they're a team that leave massive amounts of space defensively, and we just didn't expose it whatsoever. We created a couple of opportunities. We only really looked threatening a couple of times in the game. Obviously, Calvert-Lewin got the goal, which was a decent finish, to be fair, in a poor game for Dom, I thought. But it wasn't just Calvert-Lewin that had a poor game. I said, towards the end of my instant match reaction yesterday, that a lot of Evertonians were jumping on Calvert-Lewin. A lot of Evertonians were quick to dive on him for missing opportunities or for not getting the ball down at the right time. But there was a lot of players that had a poor game yesterday. The defence as a whole was shocking. The midfield was pretty much, inept. And I think the large majority of the squad were underperformed yesterday. And it's becoming a real worry, because away from home, we need to be going to grounds like Bournemouth. We need to be going into games like Bournemouth away, Villa away, Palace away, and picking up 3 points, because, there's going to be much tougher away games this season. And they're the games that you look at, and at the start of the season, you think, yeah, we should be getting 3 points against these. Now, don't get me wrong, we'll win away games this season. There'll be games that we'll win, exactly like there was last season, the Burnley game, the West Ham game, etc. But when you look at our record away from home in 2019, we've won 3 games away from home this calendar year, and we're 9 months in. That's just not good enough whatsoever, and we only won 5 away games last season overall, which isn't good enough as well. And if we want to be considered a team that's going to be challenging for the top 6, if we want to be seen as a serious competitor to Manchester United and to Chelsea and to Leicester, we've all put our necks out here as Evertonians and said that we're just as good as those teams on our day, if not better than the likes of obviously Manchester United and Chelsea has proven towards the back end of last season. I done it last week with the unpopular opinion, and it all falls back on us, and we all look like tits when we go out and put in a performance like that. And you can sort of see why certain sets of fans don't really take us as a serious threat, because you can't afford to be going away to a team like Bournemouth and performing that poorly away from home. Yes, we've been fantastic at home, and we'll probably be fantastic again next Saturday against Sheffield Wednesday, but we need to, in order to get anywhere in the Premier League, in order to finish in the top 6, the top 5, the top 7, the top 4, you need consistency. And in order to get consistency, you need to be able to win back-to-back games. And if we can't perform away from home, then we're not going to win back-to-back games. And we seen again yesterday, very similar to the Villa game, a game that we turned up, we dominated when we had the ball in terms of the first 10 minutes yesterday, but we didn't really do anything with it, and we didn't really get anywhere. And we allowed Bournemouth to put away their chances. 3 absolutely sloppy defensive errors. Again, 2 chances where we're giving away stupid free kicks on the edge of the box. I've never known a side to give away as many silly free kicks on the edge of the box as Everton, especially considering we concede pretty much any ball that comes in the box. Defensively, we were really poor. Leadership is worrying. Like I said, I'm going to talk about that in today's stream. Belief as well. I just don't think we believe in ourselves away from home again. spoke in the instant match reaction about how we've seen at times this season and how we've seen last season, you know, the players were starting to believe in themselves, and even when things weren't going right, they were picking themselves back up, they were continuing, and they were, you know, standing back and thinking, well, you know, we've been the better team in this game, so we're going to continue to press, we're going to continue to go on. And yesterday was a little bit like the start of last season, where, you know, we were performing well at the start of the game, we were pressing Bournemouth, you know, we were playing some nice football, but we conceded the goal. And whereas in the last few weeks we've seen Everton go, well, you know what, we've conceded, but we don't really, you know, we don't deserve to be 1-0 down there, so we're going to go on and we're going to press and we're going to equalise. We didn't, our edge just dropped, and, you know, Bournemouth had the better of the game then. Like I said, it's massively disappointing. Evan FC is the best, says, my guy, shit game last, certainly was. Sean says, yes mate, yes Sean. Hi, Chris says, hi mate, hi Chris, hope you are doing well. Mitchell says, away performances are sackable. Listen, if we don't start picking up wins away from home, if we don't start getting results away from home, then Marco Silva will be under a lot of pressure. I'm not going to turn around and say he should be sacked now. I'm not going to turn around and say I want him out now, because I think that's massively premature. We're 5 games into the season. But I think in terms of away performances, in terms of defensive performances, yesterday was probably the worst in quite some time. I know obviously we conceded 2 sloppy goals against Wolves the week before at home, and that was, you know, clouded by the fact that, you know, we won the game and Richarlison had an absolute stormer. But yesterday, defensively, we were absolutely shocking. Yerry Mina, Michael Keane, Seamus Coleman, even Luca Digne, you can't really defend any of them. They were all caught out of position a couple of times, and, you know, Michael Keane and Yerry Mina were sucked towards the ball far too much. They were absolutely nowhere to be seen in the third goal. And again, the second goal, a stupid tackle in a position that it didn't need to be made, and a free kick comes in and everybody's just standing there. And the concentration is something that we speak about week in, week out with Everton Football Club, is why the players lack concentration, why when there's a dead ball situation, why when a corner's coming in, why when play stops for just one moment, the players all of a sudden go, oh, what am I having for tea? Oh, fucking hell, look at that fella there, that's a nice t-shirt, am I going back? And then next minute, you know, you're a goal down. You cannot lose concentration in this Premier League against any team. You cannot have any lapse of concentration. You have to be concentrated for the entire 90 minutes, and we just seem to have lapsed concentration a couple of times yesterday, and obviously it cost us the game. Don't get me wrong, going forward we didn't have an awful lot. I said in the instant match reaction, and I still think it's, you know, now sitting here a day after, I think the front three were probably the most exciting part of our game yesterday, probably the 3 best players in an Everton shirt. Obviously I'm talking Iwobi, Richarlison, and, you know, Keane and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, in a way, because Dominic Calvert-Lewin got a lot of stick, and, you know, it's granted he didn't have his best of games and he should have done a lot better in front of goal a couple of times. Obviously he scored a really good goal, but taken away from that, I understand that the stick he gets, he needs to do a lot better, obviously, and he's not a natural number 9, he's not a natural goal scorer, he's not a natural striker. Let's have it right, let's just have it right now. He is not a natural goal scorer, he's not. So when he's in those positions, he's not going to do what Lukaku would do, he's not going to do what, I don't know, Anthony Martial or Harry Kane would do, because he's not a natural striker. Not only is he not of the ability of those players, he's not a natural striker. I actually don't think Dominic Calvert-Lewin had as bad a game as, you know, a lot of the others, but I think he got a lot, you know, most of the stick, and I don't want to talk about him today because I think he was a little bit scapegoated yesterday, when realistically, yes, we didn't create an awful lot going forward, and yes, we should have been a little bit more clinical going forward, but that wasn't just Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Richarlison had opportunities as well. Alex Iwobi had a couple of opportunities that he should have done a lot better with. Defensively, it's not Dominic Calvert-Lewin's fault that the defence was an absolute shambles yesterday. Where are we? Chris says, was it missed opportunity with Arsenal dropping points? It was missed opportunity with, Arsenal dropping points. It was missed opportunity with Leicester, Wolves, all dropping points. And of course, like we said, if we want to be seen as fighting for the top 6, a team that are going to challenge for the top 6, Manchester United and Chelsea won at the weekend. So at the end of the day, it's a missed opportunity there as well. However, I'm not even thinking about the top 6, the top 5. I'm not thinking about any now, because I just want to get through this week, really, and I can't wait for the Sheffield United game, and hopefully we can get the 3 points out of that game. Evan FC is the best, says Fabian was shit at that game considering what he can do. I thought Fabian Delph done alright, to be honest with you. I thought the first half he played quite well, again demanding, again showing that leadership, again showing his discontent with the performances of his teammates, which, you know, is right. If somebody's playing shit, you want a player to get down the throat and say, get fucking sort your head out, get in the correct position and start putting in a decent performance for these fans that have travelled. You don't want a player, a captain that's going to waltz around and not open his mouth. So we're going to talk a little bit more about Delph today, but I actually thought he done okay in the first half. He did fade out a little bit in the second half, but as did everyone. Chris says you will beat Sheffield United. Listen, I probably think we will, to be honest with you. And what what I want to make sure that we talk about as a fan base, and what we make sure that we really, really assess as a club, and Marco Silva needs to assess it with, you know, his coaches and with the players as well, is that we probably will go out and beat Sheffield United on Saturday, purely because I think we're a better team than Sheffield United anyway, and we're at Goodison Park, and, you know, we're so tough to beat at Goodison Park at the minute, but at the end of the day, that doesn't matter if we go away from home and we're absolutely shite. We're like a tiger at Goodison, and we're like a fucking kitten away from home, and if we can't string 2 good wins together, if we can't string back-to-back wins together, then we can kiss goodbye to top 5, kiss goodbye to top 6, kiss goodbye to top 7, because we need to be able to string wins together. And at the end of the day, you know, we look so different away from home, and I want to delve into it today. I want to delve into it throughout this week as well, as why are we so different away from home, and why do we perform so poorly compared to how we perform at Goodison Park. CJ01 says everyone needs to F off saying Silva out. It's clear the only one thing we're doing wrong is on away form. It's the only thing he needs to sort out. There's a fly getting in me grill. Yeah, listen, I think it's quite premature to say Silva out at the minute. Obviously, we're 5 games in, 2 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses. Yeah, I wouldn't be going that far as of yet. He doesn't need to sort the away form out. He needs to sort the defence out now as well, because Michael Keane isn't playing with confidence. Yerry Mina isn't playing with confidence. Seamus Coleman isn't playing with confidence, and that's a massive danger, considering how poor the goals from, you know, a couple of the goals were that we conceded yesterday. But I still think it's quite early to be throwing those shouts about, and those shouts will disappear again if, you know, we beat Sheffield United at the weekend, exactly like they did when we beat Wolves last weekend. But, you know, there's definitely questions there to be answered by Marco Silva and the coaching staff. Where are we? Chris says, even though Sheffield United got a freak result against Chelsea, they did. Lavovic says, the attackers seem to be more nervous. I don't want to be the one who makes the mistake that puts the defence under pressure. Exactly, and that rings bells, really, isn't it? When you're centre forwards, when your attackers are thinking, I don't want to make a mistake in case the defence ends up cocking up on the other side of the pitch, that's a massive issue in itself. And if that is the case, that's something that Marco Silva needs to be draining ASAP, and I mean before anything else, because you can't have your attackers, you can't have your midfield even afraid to play a ball, or afraid to go forward and play with confidence in case they put the defence under pressure, because we're not going to get anywhere with that sort of mentality. CJ says it's hard to assess Chelsea at the moment, Chris, to be honest. It is because they, you know, 1 week they're fantastic and the next week they're absolutely shocking. Lavit says, I can't fault Silva's attacking principles, but I'm mystified. I'm not too sure what that word means, but there you go. Lavovic says SOS to Kurt Zuma. Yeah, listen, we need another centre half in the summer. I think we knew that from the start of the season. I think we knew that as soon as the transfer window ended, when we didn't get a centre half, even just for cover, even just for having somebody in there that can play when Michael Keane or Yerry Mina needs a rest. Kurt Zuma obviously give us a lot of stability, give us a lot of consistency last season. Hasn't had the greatest start to the season with Chelsea, but I think Kurt Zuma will be an Everton player. If it's not come January, definitely come the summer. And Chris says Delph should be captain, in my opinion. I saw him down some Everton players' throats, sign of a captain. Spot on, and we're going to talk about that as our first point in just a second. I'm just going to tweet today's team out so everybody over on Twitter knows that we are live. If you're enjoying today's team so far, please do hit that like button. It means a massive amount to me. I know that we're all sitting here and we don't really want to talk about this game, and we want to just get it to the back of our minds and never have to think about it again. Listen, I'm the exact same. I come in from the pub of watching the game yesterday. I done the instant match reaction, and I pretty much tried to stay off Twitter for the rest of the night because I wasn't asked about Everton. I wasn't asked about football. I've had the boss in work today, who's a Liverpool fan, giving me down the throat. So, you know, I understand how we feel. We just want to get it out the way, and, you know, that's what we're doing today. We're going to do the game review, and then we're going to look on positively going forward, because that's all you can do, really. At the end of the day, there's massive issues that need sorting at our football club at the minute. There's massive issues in terms of the away form, and in terms of how different we are away from home as well. Away performances are crazy. I've never known a team to be so dominant at home and so poor away from home. The team very similar to it was Arsenal last season, but Arsenal were fucking unbelievable at one point in the season, going 19 or 20 games unbeaten, and they were at least getting draws away from home, whereas we're getting turned over away from home realistically, and it's not good enough whatsoever. Chris says, thoughts on Schneiderlin? I didn't think he'd done anything yesterday. Again, I still don't really think he can play in a midfield 3 with Sigurdsson and Delph. I just don't think there's enough creativity. I just don't think there's enough energy. There's enough excitement in there. But again, he wasn't the worst player on the pitch in an Everton shirt, but he didn't lift anyone's skirts up either. And Joey says, "Nah, then I hate that." I'm not going to repeat that word, but Yeah, there you go. Opinion's an opinion, isn't it? Everyone's entitled to one. But anyway, yeah, let's dive straight into it. Obviously, we know how the game went. They scored first. Obviously, a stupid ball in the box. Absolute defensive calamity. Once again, the ball's bouncing. There's 3 Everton players behind, 2 Bournemouth players, yet the Bournemouth players are played onside. Ball forced to Callum Wilson, and it's an easy finish. It's an absolute calamity. It's Sunday League style defending that, and I specifically remember when I was a kid playing Sunday League, and my coach, that situation had happened in pretty much every one of our Sunday League games, because we were half shite defensively, and that had happened, and the coach had drilling, keep with your man, do your job, don't let men just waltz around free. Michael Keane had no man, Yerry Mina didn't know who he was marking, and we ended up conceding a goal, and you're sitting there and you're thinking, well, okay, we've been probably the better team in the first opening 10, 15, 20 minutes, but we're 1-0 down now, let's dig deep now. And at that point, I wasn't really thinking about the Everton last season that had let their heads drop and that had lose confidence and that had go on and lose that game. I was thinking about the Everton of recent time that had picked themselves back up, go again, and go and rightfully, equalise and get something out of the game, but it wasn't to be. Obviously, we struggled at times throughout the first half. We were putting in silly challenges. We were giving away the ball very, very sloppily. Of course, on the break, we equalised. Dominic Calvert-Lewin with a fantastic header. Just want to take this moment to call Graham Souness a twat once again trying to convince himself and some other people that shouldn't have stood, because Dominic Calvert-Lewin uses his hands. That man's bias is absolutely unbelievable, and the fact that he's still got a job at Sky Sports News blows my mind, because it doesn't even hide it anymore. But anyway, Dominic Calvert-Lewin climbs up from a decent cross and scores a fantastic header, and all of a sudden we're going into half time, and it was the perfect time to score, really, because that's when Marco Silva can get the lads in the changing rooms, and that's when he can go, listen, don't make another stupid mistake like you did for the first goal. Let's nail it down. Let's go out there. Let's play how we know we can play. Let's play as if it was at Goodison Park. Let's put pressure to Bournemouth, and let's cut them to bits, because defensively they leave massive amounts of space, Bournemouth, and they leave opportunities to break, and they do, but we just didn't exploit that enough. And you could see from the first 5 or 10 minutes of the game what was happening is that we were breaking forward and we were trying to create opportunities, and we were having a lot of the ball and a lot of possession, but there was a couple of times that Bournemouth would catch us on the break and nothing really amounted from it. But I could see sitting in the pub watching on the television that within the first 5 or 10 minutes that was happening, and that was happening too frequently. And I was sitting there hoping that Marco Silva would look at that at half time and say, don't let these players break fast. Don't let them break as fast as they're doing, because they've got genuinely decent players going forward. Callum Wilson, who hadn't had the greatest start of the season, but we know he's a decent player. Marco Silva obviously had whatever team talk he had at half time. We come back out again. We're trying to create, but again, give away a stupid free kick on the edge of the box. And whenever we give away a free kick, whenever we give away a corner, whenever we give away any type of set piece, you're arching your mouth as an Evertonian, because you know what could potentially happen. 2 Bournemouth players stand over it. One's got the ball in his hand, puts it down. The second one hits it quick, and it just goes through absolutely everybody and goes in. Jordan Pickford's view is blocked by Fabian Delph, who tries to slide in with his left foot, which would be aiming towards goal instead of his right foot to swoop it out. Anyway, it gets a mere deflection. It wouldn't have mattered if it had hit him or it wouldn't. It gets a mere deflection, it goes in, and again, it's another one of those goals where you're looking and you're thinking, why weren't we ready for that? Why weren't we concentrated? You've seen a very similar situation in the Champions League semi-final with those dickheads over the park in Barcelona last season, where they took a quick corner, Barcelona was snoozing, and it went in. There's a very similar situation here. Bournemouth took a quick free kick. It wasn't a weak free kick, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't anything troublesome. It was a ball along the floor, and it comes in, and we're daydreaming whatsoever. Jordan Pickford's block is viewed. Jordan Pickford's view is blocked, not block is viewed, and all of a sudden it goes into the back of the net, and you're sitting there thinking, well, brilliant. We're 2-1 down now from, again, another stupid bit of defensive play. Again, obviously, with them trying to break for the equaliser, and Moise Keane comes on, Alex Iwobi's creating opportunities. We just couldn't. Bernard comes on as well. We just couldn't find the back of the net. We just couldn't find that killer instinct in the final third, which is another issue. But then Bournemouth go up the other end, and again, another one of those counter-attacks that you'd have hoped Marco Silva would have looked at. You'd have hoped the players would have cottoned on to by the 70th minute of the game, 80th minute of the game. Go up the other end, the centre-backs are nowhere to be seen, and Callum Wilson puts it in, it's 3-1, and all of a sudden you're sitting there thinking, game over, absolutely game over. At that point, there was no part of my body that thought Everton would get back into that game whatsoever. No part. I knew at that point it was over. Absolutely over. Obviously, again, Jordan Pickford having a go at the defence, and rightly so. They're nowhere to be seen, and it's 3-1, and all of a sudden it's done and dusted, and it's another poor away performance, it's another poor away result, and more importantly, it's another away game that at the start of it we should have been looking at winning, not holding on for a draw, not being beaten 3-1. We should have been going to Bournemouth and taking 3 points. I don't give a shit what anybody says. If we want to be seen as a top 6, top 5, top 7, top whatever you want to say team, we need to be going to teams like Bournemouth and beating them, because Bournemouth will be beaten by 4 goals at home 2 or 3 times this season at least, because they leave that much space at the back and they're that open at the back, but we just couldn't exploit it. And you know, if you have an off day going forward, that's absolutely fair enough, but you can't have your defend like that. It was embarrassing. It really, really was embarrassing. Chris says, don't want to dig at you lot, but you lot inconsistent cause away form. Spot on, mate, spot on. Lavitz says Snyder's liability. Listen, he wasn't great yesterday, but I don't think any of them were, to be honest with you. Joey says, would you scout Callum Wilson and Pukki until January, tossing out on loan maybe? Callum Wilson had cost 60-70 million pound, and Pukki had probably cost that as well, given the start of the season he's had, so I can't see Marcel Brands going for either of them. However, they're both good players, and I'd happily welcome them into Everton Football Club. Joey says, the same thing, haha, one's hairy and one isn't. Fair enough, fair enough. Lavid says, should have started Keane, as in Moise Keane, and he also says, every time Bournemouth crossed the halfway line even, I was panicking clueless. Exactly, and we shouldn't be like that. We shouldn't be like that against the let's have it right bottom half of the Premier League side. The side that'll finish between 10th and 16th, 17th this season. They won't go down. They'll finish mid-table. We shouldn't be panicking every time they break past the halfway line, especially if we're sitting here trying to big ourselves up as the Billy Big Bollocks of the team that are going to challenge the top 6 and the top 5. Chris says, you confident versus City at home? Listen, mate, I'm confident versus anyone at home. I'm confident versus Liverpool. I'm confident versus City. A, because we're at Goodison Park, and B, specifically the big teams, because we do tend to turn up against the big sides at home. Again, if you would have said to me, are you confident against Burnley away? I'd say no. I'm more confident to play City at home than I am Burnley away at the minute. It's like I said, it's just the away games that are really becoming a massive issue at the minute. And again, it seems like we get one thing right and then something else becomes wrong. Obviously, we seem to have the away we seem to have the defence right at the start of the season, but the attack wasn't. We then got the attack right. Now the defence doesn't seem, you know, the couple of years ago we had the away form right, but the home form wasn't. We just can never seem to get it all collectively right, and at the minute it's the away form that's letting us down. And Chris says, if Norwich beat them, then you certainly can. We can, mate. We can beat anyone in this league at home. Our firmly still stand, even after yesterday's performance and yesterday's result, in saying I think we can beat any single team in this Premier League at Goodison Park, but I also think we can get turned over by any team in this Premier League away from home, and that's the inconsistency levels that, you know, are going to see us finish between 10th and 7th this season and not break anywhere past that, because we need a consistent run of games and a consistent run of wins and a consistent run of form, and we just don't seem to be getting that at the minute. If you're enjoying today's team, please do leave a like. By the way, it means a massive amount to me, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel. Only takes a second. Well on the road to 1,000 subscribers now, so big thanks for that. Thanks for all the support on the videos recently as well. It's been absolutely unbelievable. Quite an angry instant match reaction yesterday, so big thanks for all the likes and the comments on that one as well. I know we all shared the frustration and probably do all share it still to this day. Joey says, I think if we could get Pukki for between 20 and 35 million, then it's a shot, I reckon. It is. You know, listen, don't get me wrong, even with Pukki, he's only had, 5 or 6 good games in the Premier League, so there's still a lot out there. There's still, a lot of time to judge him, and there's still the jury's still out for me. He started fantastically well, don't get me wrong. 20 to 30 million in this day and age is nothing anyway. But let's wait to see how he performs towards the back end of the season. And if I dare say, if he continues in this reign of form for the majority of the rest of the season, then we're going to have absolutely no chance in signing him, because you'll have the likes of Manchester United, Arsenal, Chelsea, etc., who are in for him in the summer. Anyway, moving on to some of the key points that I've nailed down for today's game. For yesterday's calamity, let's call it. I want to talk about Fabian Delph specifically, and I want to talk about leadership in this team. As you can tell by the title of the video, I've titled it, This Club Lacks Leadership, and I honestly think it really does. It lacks leadership on the pitch, it lacks leadership off the pitch, it lacks leadership from the top to the bottom. Fabian Delph yesterday was obviously filmed, seen, having a little bit of a negative reaction to some of his fellow teammates. I don't quite know what he says. It looked like he said are you fucking Yoda? But it also looked like he said, you're fucking shit. Anyway, he was furious, he was swearing, he was screaming at his fellow teammates. And we spoke about Fabian Delph after the Wolves game. We spoke about how, again, he was using his mouth, he was telling players where to go, he was shouting at players, he was giving players instructions before even the first whistle had been blown. Obviously, we've seen he done it on the pitch as well. He was fantastic in that Wolves game. He really did lead by example. I thought yesterday, in terms of his performance, don't think he was particularly awful. Listen, he struggled towards the second half. I thought he done okay in the first half. He gave away some stupid challenges, he gave away some stupid free kicks, got himself a silly yellow card. But again, you sort of look at it and you can understand the frustration that Fabian Delph's going through at the minute, because he's trying to play 3 roles at once. He's trying to play his own, he's trying to play Morgan Schneiderlin's, he's trying to play Gylfi Sigurdsson's at times as well. He's trying to feed out into the wingers. He's doing a lot of work at the minute, and you can understand why he was getting frustrated at the fact that too many players yesterday were waltzing around against an average Premier League side and not doing enough. Obviously, like we seen that clip of him shouting, we seen that clip of him screaming, and again, it just screamed out for me, you know, leader. It screamed out for me that he is the player that people need to listen to. He is the player that players are going to listen to and going to go to, because he's been there, he's got the experience, he's won Premier Leagues, he's won FA Cups, he's won Carabao Cups. If you are a player in that current Everton squad and Fabian Delph is giving you an instruction, or Fabian Delph is telling you what to do or where to be, and you're not listening, then you're fucking stupid. In my opinion, you're absolutely fucking stupid, because why would you not listen to a player that's gone and won the Premier League twice in his career, gone and won multiple trophies consistently year after year with Manchester City, and a really good footballer as it as well? Why would you not listen to that? If we want to be a club that's in and around fighting for titles in the future, and I'm not even going to go anywhere further in talking about that because we're miles away from that at the minute, if we want to be a club that's fighting for those titles and fighting for those positions, why would you not listen to a senior player that's in the club at the minute, that's been there and done that? Fabian Delph, for me, somebody made the point before, should he be the captain? Listen, I don't just want to rip into Seamus Coleman. He was shite yesterday, I'll say that. He was absolutely woeful, but then again, like I said, so was the majority of the team. He wasn't on his own there. In terms of Seamus Coleman as a captain, I said it multiple times last season, I'll stand tall, I'll agree. I was massively in favour of Seamus Coleman getting the captain's armband last season. Obviously, when Jagielka wasn't playing a lot of games, when Leighton Baines wasn't playing a lot of games, and I was quite in favour of him getting it this summer as well. I knew he was going to be a number 1 right back. I knew he was going to start consistent games, so I thought, why not? Why not give it to him? Why not, make him the club captain? He deserves it. He's been here a long time, and, at times he's shown he can be a leader. For me, Seamus Coleman has shown his leadership qualities when he hasn't had the armband more than when he has had the armband. He used to be in referees' faces, he used to be in other players' faces, screaming, signing, will the team on. He does it via performance now. He doesn't quite do it verbally enough. I think it'd be a really good shout to give Fabian Delph the armband. Obviously, it's only early days, and I think it will be unfair at the minute to rip Seamus of it. Again, he's had one really poor game, in my opinion. The other games he's done okay in. But, when you look at our team, when you look at our starting 11, when you look at our club, Fabian Delph does scream out to be possibly the only leader at the minute. He's the only person that's rearing players on. He's the only person that you're seeing shouting at players, you're seeing telling players, instructing players on that pitch. He's a leader at the end of the day, and yes, he's new to the club. Yes, he's only just come in, and yes, you've had Seamus there for a number of years, you've had Leighton Baines there for a number of years, but for me, that's all sentiment, and sentiment means fuck all in football. If Fabian Delph is going to be a player that's going to be there week in, week out, consistently playing because of his performances, which at the minute it looks like he will be, certainly until Jean-Philippe Gbamin is back, then why not give him that leadership quality? Why not give him the captain's armband on the pitch? There's a difference. You can have a club captain, you can have a team captain. Seamus Coleman is the club captain, and that was made official by Everton. Doesn't mean that Fabian Delph can't go out there and be the team captain. And some people might look at that and go, well, why would Seamus be playing and be the club captain but not have the armband? It's easy. Seamus Coleman is a player that represents the club fantastically. He's a top professional. He's a brilliant bloke. He's such a nice guy, and he's been unbelievable for Everton for the 10 years plus that he's been here. However, if he's not the right player to lead the players on the pitch, give it to somebody that isn't. At the minute, Fabian Delph appears to be that player. He got frustrated yesterday and he put in a couple of stupid challenges, but you could see that he would have been in that dressing room at both half-time and full-time, giving it the fucking beans to those players and saying, this is how you need to play. This is what we need to do to get anything out of this game. Obviously, it didn't work, but for me, that leads me into my next point, which is that we don't have enough leaders. We don't have enough leaders on the pitch. We don't have enough leaders off the pitch. Fabian Delph is a leader on and off the pitch. You can see that. You can quite clearly see that. You don't need me to tell you. You don't need anybody in the comments to tell you. You don't need a rocket scientist to tell you. Fabian Delph is a leader on and off the pitch. We need more than one leader. You look at the best teams in Europe, you look at the best teams in world football, they've had leaders throughout the whole team. Look at Real Madrid. They had Sergio Ramos, a massive leader at centre back. Then you had Luka Modric going into midfield. Again, another leader, captain of his country, fantastic footballer. Cristiano Ronaldo up front, another big leader. 3 big egos, 3 big leaders. Barcelona the same. Piqué, Xavi, Iniesta at one point, Lionel Messi, Suarez, who's a leader as well. The best teams have multiple leaders within the squad, and for me, you've got Fabian Delph who's running around on the football pitch trying to tell everybody where to be, and he can't do that. He can't instruct Moise Kean and Alex Iwobi and Richarlison from the central defensive midfield position. And for me, we do massively lack leadership, and we massively lack leadership off the pitch, and we massively lack leadership on the pitch. But at the minute, what we're watching is an Everton side that we can very clearly see have got one leader in them. Yes, you might have Jordan Pickford there, who you could argue is a leader as well, and a couple of other players, but, Michael Keane isn't a leader, Yerry Mina isn't a leader. I question any of the back four being leaders at the minute. Luka Dean, okay, you could say, but definitely not on the same level as a Fabian Delph. And for me, we need a player of that leadership quality at defence. We need a player of that leadership quality going forward as well, because you've got, in my opinion, two of the best, well, not in my opinion, it's fact, two of the best young forwards in world football currently playing for Everton, in Richarlison and Moise Kean, and that can't be argued. Moise Kean's stats last season for Juventus say that, and Richarlison's stats for the last couple of seasons say that as well. Two of the best young players in Europe, and a player in Alex Iwobi who's coming and looking to revitalise his career and has been fantastic as well so far. As your front three, you need somebody behind them that's going to be able to lead them and that's going to be able to tell them where to go, or you need a captain that can do that, through other players on the pitch. I just don't know whether Seamus is doing that at the minute. Now, I'm not saying that Gylfi Sigurdsson should be dropped. I'm not saying that Gylfi Sigurdsson's not good enough. For me, he's not a leader. He's the vice captain. He's not a leader in my opinion. He can lead by performance and by example on the pitch, but he's not in players' faces enough. He's not picking players up, he's not pulling players through situations, which is what a leader should be doing. And I think we could massively do with a creative player within that number 10 role. I'm not saying get rid of Gylfi Sigurdsson, not saying sell Gylfi Sigurdsson. Gylfi Sigurdsson could even drop back to the central defensive midfield role, but for me, we need a player in and around those front three that's going to be telling them where to go, because at the end of the day, you've got 3 very young footballers there that are goal hungry, that are chance hungry, that just want the ball, and they're going to naturally run into each other, they're going to bump into each other, they're going to be out of position because they get dragged towards the ball, and you need somebody there that's going to pull them and say, you need to stay there, you need to stay there, you need to stay there, they are your jobs. And I think, that's something that obviously is having an effect on us this season so far, and that's something that's having an effect on us in the last year or so. You look at the best teams in world football between last year, the last 50, 60 years, and you name me one of the best teams in world football that's only ever had one leader. I guarantee you can't, because I guarantee you all of the best teams in world football over the years have had multiple leaders, and I fucking hate them lot across the park. I hate them, and I hate comparing us to them, and I fucking hate talking about them. But you look at their squad and how many leaders have they got? I'm not going to go into it, but they've got multiple. City have got multiple. United, their team, when Ronaldo was in there, they had multiple. The 90s team had multiple. You need more than one player on the pitch that can lead by example and that can drag players through. You need a couple of senior players on the pitch as well. We've seen it with Delph coming in. We've seen it with Gareth Barry when he come in. We need that, and I just don't think we've got that at the minute. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section down below. Where are we? Let me dive straight back into the comments. CJ says, we can afford a few big F-ups, but not all the time. Just look at Chelsea, Arsenal and United last season. Yeah, but there's no guarantee we're going to perform how we did last season against the top sides. And for me, the fuck-ups can't be against teams like Bournemouth and Villa. They just can't be, because they're games that we should be winning. But you're spot on with, every team will cock up a couple of times this season. For me, they just weren't the right game. There's no right game to cock up, but they were just shocking for me. Jeff says, well, I can be listening while I drove to work. I felt physically sick watching that match. It was like I was watching my dreams getting shit on. Join the club, Jeff. That's how we all felt, I think, yesterday. Like I said, literally, I just went on the instant match reaction, turned the computer off, put my phone down, and just literally tried to get myself away from football and away from Everton, because it was absolutely shocking yesterday. Eugene says, Everton will beat Sheffield United this Saturday afternoon 4-0. And Joey says, don't be saying we'll beat Sheffield 4-0. I think we'll win, to be honest, because we're at home and we'll tend to win at home games, and we're better than Sheffield United on paper. But there's no guarantee that we will win given the last performance. There's no guarantee that we'll get anything out of the game. But again, I think it shouldn't cloud how poor we've been away from home. If you're not enjoying today's team, by the way, please do hit the like button. It means a massive amount to me. And if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe as well. Jeff says, I'm so sick of trying to be positive and optimistic. Fuck them. From now on, I'm just going to invest too much. I'm just going to not going to invest too much faith in them. Exactly, and that was part of me big sort of rant at the end of the instant match reaction yesterday. If you didn't see it, basically I finished talking about what I wanted to talk about. I was ready to turn the camera off, and then I thought, no, you know what, I want to talk about one more thing, and that was the whole, if we won today, we could finish third. If we win today, we could be in the top 3. If we win by 10, we could be in the top 2. And I know that a lot of it was just if, buts, and maybes, and I know that a lot of it was optimistic, and I know that a lot of it was joking in terms of if we win by 10 goals. But let's just stop all of that now. We're Evertonians. We've been Evertonians long enough. No matter how old you are, we've all been Evertonians long enough to understand that doesn't happen. I can't remember a time where I've woke up at the day of an Everton game and gone, fucking hell, if we win today, we could go 4th. And then fast forward 10 hours later, coming home from the Everton game going, it's like, we won today, we're 4th. It never works like that. And I got a little bit frustrated with it yesterday because it was the same against the Villa game. We see everybody jumping on that, we could go 3rd if we win. What a start to the season that'd be. And I just wanted to please, let's just focus on what's ahead of us and focus at the game ahead of us. Don't focus about where we're going to be. Don't focus about where we're going to finish. Don't focus about, if we scored this many goals, we could be here. Just focus on the team that are in front of us. And again, that's not what the team done yesterday, and that's why we ended up being beaten. Jeff says, Everton ruined my life. It's a these are mad words, these. Masochistic being an Everton fan, isn't it? Listen, I wish I could agree, but I don't know what that word means, Jeff. Eugene says, do you think it will be right time for the change of management of Everton? No, I don't, not yet. I think that's very premature. However, there's definitely issues that Marco Silva needs to fix. John says, happy birthday to Neville Southall, get him back in goal, then we have a leader. Yeah, big happy birthday, big 61st happy birthday to Big Nev, greatest ever goalkeeper to live. Again, spot on, John, a leader, a player that led by example, and a player that led with his mouth as well. And we could do with a lot more of those at the team at the minute. Eugene says, Eddie Howe for Everton manager. No, I don't think he'd be able to handle the responsibility. I don't think he'd be able to handle the size of Everton, and I don't think he'd be able to handle the massive amount of money that he'd get as well. I like Eddie Howe. I think he's a decent manager. Obviously, he's an Evertonian. I just wouldn't take him personally. Labovitz as a winger, never made sense to be captain. Yes, leaders think 80s right. Spot on. Eugene says, do you think Eddie Howe will get the new Everton manager now? No, I don't. Labovitz says, Radcliffe, Watson, Southall, Reed, exactly. Again, 4 leaders in a team that were very successful. John says, yeah. Joey says, Eddie Howe isn't good enough. I'm sorry, Bournemouth haven't improved in 3 years. Defensively woeful. How is he going to fix us? I actually agree. Spot on. Chris says, Howe could be tempted by Everton, but he's been loyal to Bournemouth. Everton won't be in for Eddie Howe. I can guarantee you that now. Everton won't be looking at a new manager at the minute. And then if they do come to look at a new manager, I don't think it'll be Eddie Howe. Chris says, how could he be tempted by Everton? He's been loyal to Bournemouth. He's an Everton fan, so maybe that'd tempt him. But again, Everton wouldn't be in for him. Mike says, his shirts should be included in the away kit. I don't really know what that means, but yeah, there you go. Eugene says, David Boy's come back to Everton. No, been there, done that. Joey says, Howe is an Everton fan, and that's great, but he's not what we're looking for. Spot on, I agree, Joey. CJ says, I fully went to sleep after the game yesterday. Don't blame you, mate, to be honest with you. I was very close to going to sleep myself, but I had work today and I knew I had to be up early, so I tried to prolong it as long as possible. Chris says, I hope you get 1k subs. You're a great guy and a great channel with great fans. Pains me to say as a Liverpool fan, love the banter with you guys too. Thank you very much, Chris. That means an absolute massive amount to me, and thanks for getting involved with the channel and staying obviously calm and staying respectful, especially when a lot of the time you do get a little bit of stick for being a Liverpool fan. Thank you very much for that. And Joey says, Masochism. I'm dumb. You wouldn't think I have 3 A levels, would you? Listen, I left school and that was it then for knowledge. It just went absolutely out the window. But yeah, I'll Google what that means in a bit and then I'll come back to you. So yeah, obviously yesterday, listen, it goes without saying, we were absolutely defensively shocking. Like I said, 7 goals conceded in 3 games. Such a contrast to the start of the season when we were all sitting here saying about how well we've been performing defensively, and we've all been sitting here saying how good of a season Michael Keane's having, how good of a season Yerry Mina's having. Not good enough whatsoever. Very alehouse, very embarrassing, very Sunday League at times yesterday, and that needs to improve. If you're enjoying this team, by the way, please do hit the like button. Again, like we said before, for me, there's just a massive lack of leadership. The front three needs somebody there that's going to be able to lead them, that's going to be able to organise them on the pitch, and whether Fabian Delph can do that, whether Gylfi Sigurdsson can do that, it's not looking like that at the minute, because at the minute, although they're creating opportunities, although the scoring goals, sometimes in the game they're fading out, and the change in position, and they're not being in the correct positions at the correct times. Obviously belief as well is a massive thing I wanted to talk about in today's stream, because listen, at the end of the day, we just don't believe in ourselves, do we? Away from home, we can be as good as we want at Goodison Park, and we can get as many points at Goodison Park, and we win as many games, and we can score as many goals. But if we're going away from home and we're not believing in ourselves, we're not believing in our own ability, we're not believing in the size of the football club that we are, then it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. We should be going to these away games, we should be going to sides like Bournemouth and thinking, you know what, we're Everton fucking Football Club, we should be getting the 3 points here, and we're going to go out and we're going to get the 3 points here, and that's it. No ifs, no buts, no maybes. We're going out there and we're getting the 3 points, but we don't. We have a lack of belief, we have a lack of confidence in ourselves, and I find it strange, because yes, it's away from home, it's a different environment, it's massively different to Goodison Park, but it shouldn't be that different. You're professional athletes, you're professional footballers, you're getting paid hundreds of thousands of pounds a week. Go to a ground at a different part of the country, turn up, do your job, come home. It shouldn't have that much of an effect on the players, and it shouldn't have that much of an effect on the team, but at the minute it's looking like it is having. Obviously, like we mentioned, the away form, it's woeful, and it's shocking at the minute. How do we fix it? I don't know. It's something that I think we're going to have to do a full live stream about, a full video talking about, something that hopefully me and Michael from Network Michael D are going to talk about later on in the week. If you didn't know, I was on his YouTube channel last Saturday just gone, talking about Everton, so hopefully we're going to talk about the away form at some point this week, and we'll have that live streamed over on our channel, so watch out for that on Wednesday night, hopefully. But I don't know. In all honesty, I don't know. I don't know why it was so different away. Maybe Marco Silva said in his pre-game press conference that he doesn't change much going away from home. Nothing really changes. We have to look at the opposition, whether we're away, whether we're at home, and that's it. Maybe we need to change something away from home. Maybe we need to change a personnel. Maybe we need to change a formation, because one thing is for certain, and that's whatever we're doing now isn't working away from home. So I don't know. I don't know what the conclusion is to that. I don't know what the answer is to that, but it's really not good enough at the minute, and that's what we know so far. And we know it needs fixing. Obviously, I want to talk about Dominic Calvert-Lewin for a second as well. I thought yesterday, obviously, like I said, he didn't have his greatest game. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit here and say he was boss. I'm not going to sit here and say he didn't deserve criticism. I'm not going to sit here and say he didn't deserve to be, slated for a couple of the chances that he missed. Did he deserve the abuse that he got on Twitter? Absolutely not. Did he deserve being told that he was the worst thing since sliced bread? Even when he scored the header, being told that you're still fucking shit, get out the team? No. We should have, at that point when he scored that header, we should have got behind the team, we should have got behind the lad. And that's not why we lost the game, don't get me wrong. We didn't lose the game because the fans didn't get behind the squad, the fans didn't get behind the players. But I went onto Twitter, obviously, to tweet about the Dominic Calvert-Lewin goal, to tweet about my excitement during that moment. And I've still seen people on Twitter, obviously a couple of people saying still hasn't redeemed himself, still hasn't been good enough, and that's fair enough. That's absolutely fair enough. I would agree. I still don't think the goal, changed everything. I don't think just because he scored that finish he had a good game. But there was people saying get him out the fucking team. He's still shite. Doesn't matter. He's still a dick. Not a dick. He's still awful. Why? Why not just get behind them? Why not just say, let's get behind the team now, let's go on and get these 3 points, and then at the end of the game say, well, Dom obviously scored the header, but I think he had a poor game overall. Or say, he still had a poor game, but good goal, let's get behind them. Why do we have to still consistently slate players to bits, even after they've scored a goal for us? I understand, I agree, he didn't have his greatest game, and that goal didn't change anything realistically in terms of his performance, but you don't have to carry on slating them, almost like we're afraid to be proved wrong. I'm always proved wrong as an Evertonian. I'm made up. If I sit here now and say we're not going to get the top 6 because we're not consistent enough, and we go on and gain points out of our next 15, 20 games and gain that consistency and finish in the top 6, I'll stand here happily at the end of the season and say, I'm wrong. I was wrong. It's almost like as a fan base, we want to be proven right, and even when at times we're proven wrong, it's like no, that's not the case. And I just thought it was a little bit silly yesterday, and considering Dominic Calvert-Lewin wasn't the only player on the pitch that had a shocking game, there was multiple players that were poor. Defensively, we were shocking. The whole back four was shocking. The midfield didn't do an awful lot. Again, Richarlison didn't do an awful lot either. Dominic Calvert-Lewin got a lot of the brunt of it yesterday, which I thought was quite unfair. Yes, he had a poor game, but there's no reason as to why he should have got more than Keane, Coleman, Richarlison, Sigurdsson, Schneiderlin, because they equally had a poor game as well. And if anything, Dominic Calvert-Lewin scored, so we had one up on those players. But yeah, like I said, it just seemed a little bit scapegoaty for me, which I don't really like. Each to their own, everyone can have an opinion. He didn't play well and he was poor, and that's fair enough. But some of the stuff was just a little bit more personal rather than, oh, he's had a poor game today, in my opinion. Chris says, have to go, mate. Take care, everyone. Thank you very much, Chris. Thanks for getting involved. Eddie says, Sil's body language was awful. It was. Listen, he looked a little bit defeated yesterday at times, and that is quite worrying. Eugene McGeever says, Everton will need to play the youngsters now. Well, there's a couple on show today for David Unsworth's under-23s. Obviously, they play Blackburn, I believe, in a minute, basically. Kickoffs at 7 o'clock, I think. So, yeah, Marco Silva, they're saying Marcel Brands will be having a little look at those. John says, why not Silva change 2 players at half time? We all see how bad we played in the first half. Again, substitutions is another thing that we've been critical of Marco Silva with for, the last year and a half, basically. His substitutions have been the biggest criticism, I think, and in terms of who he brings on and when he brings these players on. Again, yesterday, he should have made the substitutions at 1-1. He should have brought Moise Keane on. He should have brought, whoever he was going to bring on, he should have made them changes at 1-0 and not when we were 2-1 down. We've seen Everton managers do that previously, and I've ripped into Everton managers doing that previously, so Marco Silva's no different. You can't be making substitutions when the negative thing has happened. You can't be looking at a situation and going, right, well, we'll probably need another striker on here, but we'll give it a couple of minutes, and then when we can see it going, right, well, now put the striker on. Make a proactive change. Do not be reactive. You can't be reactive in Premier League football, and that's what Marco Silva's been over the last couple of weeks. He's been reactive, and that needs to change. He needs to be a little bit more proactive with the substitutions. Eugene says, pick one of Unsworth's youngers from the game tonight at 7. I'll have to watch it first, and then I'll come back at you with that one. Joey says, yeah, Slayton Dom, and some fans not encouraging Kenny makes me sick. This is a club that once rises over Tony Hibbert. Exactly. John says DCL was not the problem yesterday. Defence and Delph and Schneiderlin was the problem. Again, midfield was as much of the problem as the defence, and they were as much the problem as the attacking line. I think collectively as a team yesterday, we were absolutely shocking. But defensively was embarrassing at times. It really, really was. And Eugene says Everton need to play Morgan Feeney. It's a difficult one, obviously. I don't know. Maybe Marco Silva doesn't think Morgan Feeney's ready yet to play Premier League football. Maybe Marcel Brands doesn't think Morgan Feeney's ready yet. I don't know, but I dare say he's somebody that they'll definitely have their eye on over the next couple of weeks as being a part of the squad at least. But lastly, before I end today's team, I want to talk about responsibilities and player responsibilities for the minute, because obviously after the first goal went in, we've seen a lot about zonal marking. We've seen a lot about players being in the wrong positions, and I think something that Marco Silva needs to work on massively with these lads, and something that the coaching staff need to work on massively with these lads, is responsibility. Do they know what they're meant to be doing? Do they know where they need to be? Do they know where they need to be and when they need to be there? Because at the minute, there's been too many chances, too many situations where players have been in the incorrect positions, players have been dragged out to incorrect positions, and players have been almost looking on the pitch as if they don't really know what they're doing and they don't really know where to be or when to be there. That's obviously very, very worrying for Premier League footballers. It's very, very worrying for a side that are looking to break into European football places. And I think, again, it's something that Marco Silva needs to look at with the lads, not only with the away form, not only with consistency, but making sure that the players know what they need to be doing, making sure that the players understand the responsibilities, because at the end of the day, Michael Keane didn't look like he understood his responsibilities yesterday. Yerry Mina didn't look like he understood his responsibilities yesterday. Richarlison at times didn't look like he understood his responsibilities yesterday, and I think that's another big worry that maybe deserves its own big conversation in itself. But anyway, that's going to do it for today's live stream. If you have enjoyed, please do hit that like button. It'd mean a massive amount to me. If you haven't already and you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. We're getting close to 850 subscribers. We're on the road to 1,000 now, so hopefully we can hit that at some point soon in the future. That'll be a massive achievement for the channel. Do go and follow us over on Twitter as well, at MightyBluesYT, to keep up to date with all of the latest Everton news and information. We're done talking about the Bournemouth game now. We can get that out the way. We can stop thinking about that. We can stop discussing it, and we can just look forward now and hopefully look forward to a decent game and a decent result against Sheffield United at the weekend. Listen, I think we'll probably go out there and get 3 points on Saturday. We've made Goodison a fortress, and that's nothing to be, scared of admitting, nothing to be scared of saying. We've been fantastic at Goodison for the last however many months, but at the end of the day, if we want to be a mid-table top 10 side, that's fair enough. We can be boss at home, we can be okay away from home. Not okay, we can be shite away from home. If we want to be a team that's within the top 5, top 6, top 7, we need to be much better away from home, and we were absolutely shocking yesterday. So yeah, we've got that one out the way now. Thank God for that. We can go on and we can positively think about Saturday's game. Let me know your thoughts on yesterday's performance in the comment section down below. Of course, a big thanks to everybody for getting involved in the live comments. As per usual, if you're new to the channel, like I said, please do hit the subscribe button. Leave a like on the stream if you have enjoyed. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks for taking time out of your day to watch, and thanks for taking out your time out of your day for watching live as well. Leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below, and I'll be going through them and replying to them as well tonight. So big thanks to everybody for watching. Like I said, we'll be back on Wednesday at around 6:15ish. Hopefully it's with a live team with the main man himself, Network Michael D, talking a little bit more about the away form and the issue there, the issue with leadership and the issue just overall at Everton at the minute. If not, if it's not with Network Michael D, if we can't figure that one out, then I'll definitely be live on Wednesday at 6:15 anyway. So just be on the channel at 6:15 on Wednesday for another live team, because I need to be live with Mike or I'll be live on my own. So don't forget to join us then. Of course, we'll have obviously all the pre-game stuff leading up to the Sheffield United game towards the back end of the week, the pre-game press conference reaction and the game preview as well. But we've got Wednesday's live team first. Big thanks for watching today. Please leave a like on the stream if you have enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Don't forget to join us on Wednesday night at 6:15. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon on the Mighty Blues.